we can't stress the importance of this enough. If you want to have a legal access to water after this adjudication is complete, step one, most important step, is to fill out this claim form and get it filed. You have some time. It's going to be early 2026, probably, maybe a little bit later before those forms are due. Katie just went through the form. There's 10 parts. Some of that information you can probably fill out right now, you know, your name and address and things like that. But you've got a year plus to figure out the rest of that information, and there are resources available to help you find that information. So I think the three of the best resources available right now are through the Ag Water Board of Whatcom County, and also Whatcom County. Cara is here. Katie mentioned her earlier. She works for Aspect Consulting, who is working with the county, developing resources for all water users in Whatcom County, but really geared towards the permit exempt water uses. And then Ecology also has a good website of different adjudication resources that we'll go through here. So Google it, you can find it. You can type in these web addresses to find these websites and access the resources there. So we'll start with the Ag Water Board. If you just go to agwaterboard.com, right near the top of the website, there's a link to click. It says Water Right Resources, right? So click on that and you'll be able to access a bunch of really good information. The first thing that I want to point out is that the Ag Water Board is funding office hours for people to sign up for and get one-on-one help with staff from Associated Earth Sciences. We did some last spring. Maybe some of you attended or some of you heard about them, but there's more offered this fall. The next one is on Thursday. So in 2 days, there's, as of this morning, there were still slots available that you can sign up and get some one-on-one help with your water rights situation at the Ag Water Board's office. And then December 6th is our next session. There's still slots available for that one too. So I'd encourage you to sign up, particularly if you're an ag water user and you have water rights and you need to understand, you know, how you can participate in this adjudication. We've got a table over there. Jessica is manning the table. She can help you sign up if you need that help. But I would encourage you to do so. We anticipate having more of these office hours throughout 2025. So keep your eye out if you can't make one of these dates. The other thing that's coming soon on the Ag Water Board website is we're building a water right information portal. So it'll be an interactive map where you can access some of these resources and look for some information about your parcel. One of the key components of that information portal is that the Ag Water Board last spring filed a public information request with Ecology on behalf of all parcels that are within a watershed improvement district in the county. So that public information request has been filed. Ecology is working on fulfilling that, essentially for all water right documents for all parcels that are within a WID. And so once that information comes back to the Ag Water Board, it'll be built into this information portal so you can search for your parcel and access your full, complete water right file that's applicable to that parcel. So keep an eye out for that. We also have an irrigation water use estimator. So if you are irrigating a crop and you can enter your acreage that you're irrigating, your crop type and your irrigation method, it will estimate the amount of annual water use that crop would require. The other thing that's available on that website is court claim form preparation worksheets. So as Katie mentioned, this court claim form that she just went through is not finalized yet. And so, but we've built some worksheets. We have some copies on our table over there that you can use to start filling out and gathering your information that will then can be used easily to populate that form either online or in whatever state it looks like when it's mailed to you sometime point this spring. There's also a list of water rights attorneys that are available and taking clients. If you need additional help and you would like an attorney or a water right consultant to help you, there's a list of those people that are available for you to contact. So Whatcom County is another great resource. Like I said, Cara has some information over there. They've got some resource maps, some general information. They have water use calculators for irrigation. They've got domestic water use calculators. I think they're building a stock watering water use calculator too that should be available soon. So those are good resources to estimate your water use. There's links to past presentations by Ecology, by Whatcom County, by the Ag Water Board and others, so you can watch kind of as the information was presented before. There's links to ecology resources, including how to search for your water well report, if it's available in Ecology's database, and then also links to Ecology's water rights search pages, links back to the Ag Water Board resources, and then also links to information from Whatcom County Superior Court. Similarly, Ecology's website has some general information, answers to frequently asked questions about the adjudication, and other links to past presentations, Whatcom County resources, and then Superior Court information. So all good resources that you can learn things and find out information specific to you. So we'll go through the form again where Katie just went through, and I can point you to some resources that will help you fill out those parts. So remember, Part A are these small domestic groundwater uses, so up to 500 gallons per day of domestic use and up to a half an acre of non-commercial lawn or garden irrigation. So the Whatcom County residential water use calculators are useful for that. 500 gallons per day. Seems like a lot. There's a simple method water use calculator on the county's website that assumes 60 gallons per day per person in your home as an estimate for water use. So at 500 gallons per day, you'd need 9 people living in your house to exceed that 500 gallons per day. But there's also a detailed method to estimate domestic water use where you can enter not only how many people are living in the home, but how many loads of laundry do you do a day, how many loads do you run through your dishwasher a day? How many loads of dishes do you do by hand? On and on. And, just, playing around with it on my own and hearing other people do the same thing. The detailed method generally estimates more water use than 60 gallons per day. And so you can use both of those tools to determine, if that 500 gallons per day limitation that's part of Part A on the form is applicable to you, or if you'd need to claim a larger permit exempt water use using Part B. So Part B2, the legal basis of the water right. Okay, so this is, do you have a water right that authorizes you to use water on your property? So there's lots of different resources available to help you figure that out. I'll plug the office hours again. These are free to sign up, so I would encourage you to do so. It would be useful, and you can find out a lot of information about the water rights that you may or may not have on your property. As I mentioned, the information portal will be free to use. That's coming soon. If you sign up on our sign-up sheet over there, we can generate an information packet for you and email it to you for free. It's essentially the same information that we provide people through the office hours, but we'll just email it to you if you can't make the office hours, or you can have it ahead of time. So if you do sign up for maybe a later office hours in the spring, you kind of have a head start over what information is available. Ecology has a Water Rights Explorer that you can access for free. It's a presentation of water rights statewide. It's a little bit clunky to use, if I'm honest. They are developing a more user-friendly Water Rights Explorer specifically for WIRA 1. I think that should be available in the next few months, so keep an eye out for that, and you can use that Explorer tool to see if you've got water rights on your property. You can always file your own public information requests with Ecology and have them email you your complete, all the complete water rights files for any water right that might be pertinent to your property. That's free to do. If you feel like you need additional help, you can hire a water rights consultant or a water rights attorney to help you. So part B3, when did water use begin? So if you have a water right, that water right has a priority date. That's typically associated with the date that water was, the first steps were taken to put water to beneficial use. That's one of the pieces you have to fill out on that form. Most water rights also have what's called a progress sheet in the water right file, and those will have those dates when construction began on your diversion or your point of withdrawal and when your construction was complete on your project. So those dates that are if known that you want to fill out on your form will be typically found on that progress sheet. If you don't have a water right, or if you're using permit exempt groundwater, the date of construction on a water well report can be found with the Ecology's water well report viewer. So that's a useful date. Historical era photos are a good way to document kind of the historical development of a property. Again, the Ag Water Board office hours, if you sign up for those, you'll get a set of historical air photos for your property, essentially one per decade since the 1940s. And it'll also be in that information packet if you sign up on the sheet over there. Whatcom Conservation District and other sources are out there too for historical air photos. And then you can always rely on historical property information. So assessor's data from Whatcom County typically has dates of when improvements were made to a property, so when the house was built, etc. That is typically tied to when water was first used on the property, or just historical family knowledge. If it's been a family farm for a long time, you might have just information for when water was first used for various purposes on that property. So groundwater well information, again, use Ecology's water well report viewer. You can find the well depth and potentially the well tag number on that water well report, often called a well log. If you don't have a well log, you can measure the depth of your well with a weighted tape. You can look for an Ecology tag on your well, but if you don't have that information, don't get hung up on it. The form specifically says well depth if known. If you don't know it, leave it blank. It's not a problem. So where is water used? So if you have a water right certificate or permit, there will be a legal description for the place of use of where that water can be used. So that is a good source for the legal description of the place of use that's required under B8 on the form. You can also look up your parcel information, legal description of your parcel, and parcel number that's needed on the form through Whatcom County's parcel information. Part B9, so the purpose of use and quantities. So we talked about water use estimators and calculators. Ag Water Board has one specific for irrigation. Whatcom County has the irrigation methods and also calculators for domestic use and stock watering. Those will give you an estimate of your annual water use associated with those uses. They won't calculate your instantaneous use, your instantaneous pumping rate that might be associated with their water use. So you have to figure that out or estimate that a different way. Your water right documents will often have limitations on your annual quantity and the instantaneous pumping rate. So you can use those as your quantities, because those are essentially the maximum allowed quantities associated with your water right. If you have metering data, if you have a meter on your source, you can use that data to estimate or quantify your water use. You don't have to have metering data, but if you do have it and it's available, it's certainly a fine source of information to fill out your claim form. And then you also have specifications for your water use equipment. If you know information about your pump, horsepower, etc., you can do some research to figure out what the pumping rate would be expected out of your well with your certain pump, or what kind of pumping rate is necessary to run your irrigation equipment. If you've got a moving big gun with a certain nozzle diameter, you can look up that information to see what the pumping rate is that you can estimate for the form. So that's a quick view of going through the different resources that are available to you. Next, I'll hand it over to Ramsey, who will talk through the federal settlement options. And I'll just reiterate again, right? The federal settlement that she'll talk about is a settlement to the court case. This is adjudication is the court case. In order to be a part of the federal settlement, you need to be a party to the case. To be a party to the case, you got to fill out the form and submit it by the deadline. So if you hear nothing else in this entire evening, it just reiterate the importance of filling out the form, however complete you can make it, to get yourself into the case, because if you don't, you won't be a part of a settlement if that happens, and you certainly won't have a water rate after the adjudication is finished. So please do that.